Hello, sweet yogis. Welcome to your practice today. My name is Shilly Arce, and I'm just honored to be here with you, guiding you through this delicious yin practice. Our theme today is balance and relaxation. So my goal is to bring you into a relaxing yin practice and then also bring some balance into the energy body. If you have some props, those are always really nice to have within your yin class. So some props, they can be firm pillows, yoga bolsters like I have here. If you don't have these, no worries, just use some regular pillows, some blankets, just some things that can prop your body up as we go through these poses. But by all means, if you don't have them, it's okay. You don't necessarily need them. They're just there for your comfort. Our first pose for the sequence is our butterfly position. So I invite you to unite the soles of your feet. You can have your diamond as big or as small as you like within this pose. So if this is a lot of strain on your hips or on your knees, put some items underneath of your knees for support within the poses. So that's a great option. However, if you want to stretch through the inner groin, through the hamstrings, you can not have those props there. Good. Another option for your props is to place them across the top of your lap, just like so. Good. Once you have your props into place, we're going to come into our sits bones, feeling our sits bones rooted down, anchored down into the earth. Good. And then take a big inhale, breathing in through your nose, and then as you exhale, go ahead and round down. I like to have the support underneath of my arms as I come into this position, and then relaxing my head down as well. So as we go through our yin postures, when you first come into the pose, check and see if there's anything you can do to get more comfortable. And then make a commitment to yourself that you'll remain still within the pose, resisting the urge to fidget, giving yourself the time to really sink into the posture, finding that stillness. And then, of course, if you're feeling pain within a posture, you're always welcome to come out, but check in and see if it's sensation or pain. We never want to feel pain within our yoga practice. Also, there'll be long periods of silence when we come into each pose, and that just allows for you to restore, just tapping into your own breath, your own inner voice. This also gives you the opportunity to train your mind. And can you train your mind by coming up with a mantra or a phrase? A mantra can be a Sanskrit word such as Om. It could also be a phrase that you would like to use, such as, I move through life with ease and peace. I am relaxed. I am love. Love flows through me and to me. So establish what that is that you want your mind to focus on, and creating this affirmation that you can come back to time and time again throughout your practice, keeping yourself present. And once you have that established, go ahead and just relax. I'll always cue you when it's time to come out of the poses. If you doze off, it's completely normal. Good, sweet yogi. Notice if your mind wandered, if it did. And bring it back to your mantra or your intention that you set for your practice. Take 3 more breaths here. After your 3rd breath, slowly begin to rise up. You can place your props over towards the side for now. Place the soles of your feet onto your mat, knees come up towards the sky. Now bring your hands back behind you, and then windshield wipe your legs to the left and to the right, to the left and to the right. You felt a little dizzy coming out of butterfly. That's very, very normal. And just take your time coming out of the poses. And for our next posture, we'll be onto our mats, long ways. And we're moving into a sphinx and a seal pose. So you don't have to have the props for these, but if you like them, it just makes it a little bit more restorative. So go ahead and come onto your belly. And bring your feet to the outer edges of your mat. Once you have your feet out wide, you can place your bolster or your pillow underneath of your last rib. And then from there, your forearms come down onto the ground. Forearms come down, elbows are about underneath of your shoulders. And then your hands are rooted down onto the ground. So the important part of this posture is to remember to take your feet to the outer edges of the mat. That first posture that we went into is a back bend, so it helps us to calm the nervous system down a bit. This one is a bit of a baby back bend, so it'll give you that balance where you're relaxed but alert all at the same time. So go ahead and have your gaze forward and lengthen through the back of your neck. You can close your eyes, allowing for your practice to be more internal. Maybe noticing the sounds, the smells, the way that the light dances on your eyelids. Being completely immersed into the present moment. No thought of yesterday, no thought of tomorrow. My yogi is that this is feeling like good sensation. You're more than welcome to stay here. Your body is craving a little bit more. Root down through your hands, straighten your arms up. This will take you into a deeper back bend. You can always try it out and see how it feels. If you want to come back down onto your forearms, that's also a choice. If you come into the spicier level, just check to make sure you're not feeling any crunching in the vertebrae. We want to have some space created in there. Imagine that you're stringing the pearls out. If you are feeling crunching, you can also tuck your tailbone under slightly. Pull the pubic bone forward energetically, and that'll create some more space in the vertebra. We're almost there. Good. If you're in your full seal pose, go ahead and lower it back down into Sphinx, coming back down onto your forearms. We'll pause and breathe right here for about another minute. Go ahead and ease out of the pose. And do this by first removing any props out from underneath of your body. Then place your hands underneath of your shoulders, sit your hips onto your heels, coming into a child's pose. Releasing your forehead, tip of your nose down onto your mouth. In child's pose, get as comfortable as you can, allowing for this counter pose to be restorative. In child's pose, wake up. Walking your fingertips towards the top of your mat. Go ahead and rise into tabletop. In tabletop, take a few cycles of cat and cow, one of the best ways to balance out the energy body. As you inhale, head and hips go high, your belly sways down. Good. Exhale, round it in. Go ahead and take this time cycling through your cat and cow, going your own breath, your own pace. Notice if your body is craving those quick movements or if it wants slow, luxurious movements. What do you need in this present time? Good. After you complete the cat that you're in, go ahead and inhale back into a neutral tabletop. Neutral tabletop, tuck your toes under. Send your hips high to downward facing dog. Downward facing dog, start to walk your hands backwards towards your feet. Your feet are at least hip distance apart. And then bend your knees a whole lot as we come into what's known as dangle in our yin. It's known as ragdoll in our vinyasa. But we'll bend the knees a whole lot and then grab onto opposite elbows. You can sway from side to side here. And these inversions are so good for our youthfulness. And it brings fresh blood into the brain, helps with memory and concentration. Also brings fresh blood into the cheeks, just giving that rosy glow. Be here now, staying right in this posture.
Noticing the breath, the sensations. And release your hands down and find your garland pose, your malasana low squat. So heel toe the feet all the way so that the heels are just onto the mat and the toes are just off. And then connect your elbows to the insides of your knees. Your hands can come into heart center. If this posture is, not very relaxing for you, you can always sit onto a bolster or a yoga block, something to elevate and support your hips. And hands come into namaskar. Lengthen through your spine, gazes forward. And softening through your gaze, softening through your face. If you want to incorporate a yoga mudra, a hand gesture within this pose, you can do your lotus mudra, which we connect the pinkies and the thumbs and then create space between the palms and the hands. Our lotus symbolizes the flower coming up through the mud, going into the water, getting cleansed before it finally goes into the sunlight and into the air. So it's also the journey of our chakras, and starting in the earth and then making its way through the water to the light and to the air. Sweet yogis, you're almost there. And stay with it for just a couple more breaths. And so good. Let's transition back into dangle. And bring your hands onto the ground. Slowly send your hips up towards the sky. Keeping your knees bent, heel toe your feet parallel with each other. And then once again, grabbing on to opposite elbows. You can sway from side to side. As you come into each pose, just know that it's nourishing your body, just the way that it needs to. Not all the postures are relaxing, but when they're not, then it gives us that opportunity to enjoy the ones that are the sweet ones. And walk your hands forward and coming back into your downward facing dog. Downward facing dog, pedal out your feet, bending your knees left and right, left and right. Good, now bring your right knee to the outside of your right wrist. Just allowing for the shin to fall where it's at. Coming into our pigeon pose. Again, we call this posture swan. In our vinyasa and hatha, it's called pigeon. But same pose, different name. Take a look back at your left leg. Tuck the toes of your left foot under. And getting the top of your left foot onto your mat, top of your left thigh onto your mat. Or look over the top of your mat. Lengthen through your spine. And then as you exhale, hinge down into it. You can use a block or a pillow for support. It's coming into that sweet spot that you want to land, to find your stillness. For today, I'm bringing my palms together in prayer behind my neck. You can also try that out. It helps to stretch your triceps. One more breath. And then slowly begin to emerge out of your posture. Bring your hands underneath of you for support, rising up. From here, root down through your hands, tuck your toes, and send your right foot back to meet your left, downward facing dog. As you come into your downward facing dog, you can find movement within the right leg, just gently shaking it out. And now transition into your second side. Bring your left leg forward. Left knee comes to the outside of your left wrist. Just allowing for your shin to fall where it's at. Take a look back at your right leg this time. Just checking in to see that the right leg is in good position, no sickled toes. And then look back forward. Square off over the top of your mat. Take a big inhale. And as you exhale, lower down, bringing your torso closer down towards the earth. So if you went into it on that first side, you can also stretch through your triceps by placing them onto a block or bolster. Your elbows onto a block or bolster. And then place your hands into prayer position. Hands come to the back of your neck. Notice if there's any tightness within the pose. Send the breath into that tightness. Good, sweet friends, take your time. We'll start to transition out. No need to rush. The hands come directly underneath of your shoulders. Start to rise up. And then sit onto your glutes. Just allow for your right leg to swing forward and to meet your left. Good. We're coming into our final relaxation. And our theme today was balance and relaxation. So for our final relaxation, I want you to get as comfortable as you possibly can. Perhaps that's placing a bolster or pillows, a blanket rolled up underneath of your knees. You could also have a block or a bolster behind your back. I like to do my bolster this way because it really helps to just open my chest when I lay back. And a lot of times we spend so much time just hunched over, whether that's in the car driving or with the little kids or on the computer, on the phone. So I try to every day just take the time to open up, and this opens up through the heart center energetically and also physically. All right, so go ahead and release back and down. If you want to lay in a traditional Shavasana, you could also do that. I invite you to get as comfortable as you possibly can. Hands can come down beside you. Fingers can curl. And close your eyes. And in your mind's eye, maybe visualizing what it is, the sensations, the feelings, the emotions that you would like more of in your life. Is that joy? Is that love?
Is it health and wellness? What is it that you want more of? Can you cultivate that emotion inside eternally? And sweet yogi, if your awareness drifted, bring it back. Starting to feel those small sensations in your hands and your toes as you begin to wiggle your hands and toes. And rock your head from side to side, a slow awakening. And coming back into the physical reality. Even bring your hands up overhead for a good morning stretch. And start to make your way into the side of your choice. Moving into a fetal position. Just allowing for your knees to draw in close. Torso comes down, your cheek comes down onto your mat or onto your blanket. No need to rush. Start to slowly push yourself up. Come into a seated position, middle of your mat. And as you come into your seated position, you're more than welcome to keep your eyes closed or downcast. And bring your hands into Namaskar in the heart center. So thank you so very much for joining me on the mat today, just creating relaxation and creating balance. I don't know about you, but I truly needed this in my life today. Namaste means that the light in me honors the light in you. I honor the love, the light, the beauty, the truth, and the kindness that's within all of us. When you're in this space and I'm in this space, we are together, we are one. Namaste, sweet friends. Thank you for coming to Om at Home. If you haven't already, join us on the Om at Home app. You can download that on the Google Play Store or also the iTunes Store. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow on the mat for some vinyasa, some flow yoga. As always, thank you for trusting me and allowing me to guide you through your practice. Namaste.